Hello YouTube, it's Friday and I am feeling hell of a lot of nostalgia. I was looking at the playgrounds and how they're not the same like the ones I used to play on back in the 90's before they got ripped apart because they were unsafe for children to play on. Like the rocket ships, those were quickly removed after kids got hurt, and those were fun as heck. I may admit, they were dangerous as heck, and how we survived our youth, I have no clue. We were living on a prayer. I mean, we had monkey bars, crazy stuff that, they don't have on the playground, or it just the gyms were crazy. You could just like break an arm or something, but we had a lot of fun and we really didn't notice it. When you're a kid, I don't know, fear doesn't get to you quite as much as when you're an adult. You want to do all the crazy stuff that can get you hurt and that you're not supposed to do when you're 7 years old, and you can do it, and sometimes you don't get hurt. Often you don't. And once in a while, there's the kid who gets unlucky and ends up in the summer in the cast, and they use an example. That's what happens when you do that, or that's what happens when you do that. But merry-go-rounds when they're still around were fun. I mean, we used to ride them until we got literally sick to our stomachs. I think so many people got sick to their stomach on a merry-go-round that they had to get rid of them because kids were vomiting in the playground. But those were fun. Anybody who remembers those rockets, they were just fun, and so were the merry-go-rounds, and so were the crazy contraptions. Like they had horse swings, which you get, you sit and basically go up and down. Those were fun, and they started ripping them off the playgrounds when I was 12, and I was angry. And they had like mazes, just all kinds of cool kinds of things that were dangerous. Like they had these slides that are tornadoes that were just twisted down a pool, and you walked up and you went down. And I think they're called Helter Skelters. Yeah, that's where the Beatles got their song, Helter Skelter. It's a tornado slide that you climb it up and you go down it. And it's pretty fun. It was fun growing up. Yeah, and then we also had I actually got hurt on one of these, so I'm not surprised they got rid of these, because I bit my lip and bled on it. Seesaws. Pink Floyd did a song about it, and they're like, you go teeter-totters or seesaws, they go up and down. I went on the seesaw with someone who was bigger than me, and I was a little 8-year-old. My dad hated them because he was being a doctor, you know. You see kids getting injured all the time on it, and I was one of them. Not that bad that I needed to go to the hospital, but I bled on my dress that I needed to wear that day, and I bit my lip. I've also, I thought I could climb up a tornado slide, and I bit my lip doing that too. Like I said, the crazy things you do when you're 8 years old and you think it's fun to do, your parents say, no. I think, everything your parents say no to do when you're 8 sounds even more mysterious and glamorous when really it wasn't. Like watching certain cartoons or staying up past your bedtime or going on certain rides. I think that's the mysterious of why can't I do it? What is it like that we had when we were a kid? Like, why aren't we supposed to smoke? It makes it sound much more fun to try and things like that, when really it's either dangerous, overrated, or boring. Some of it was fun. I mean, some rated R movies are fun. We couldn't watch them, and I think by the time Family Guy came out, I was almost 17, so I could watch it. And so it wasn't really rules against that. And I think Family Guy is funny to a point, but it can be too much for me. I mean, I think it's just a little bit too crude, but it is funny. But I couldn't watch Beavis and Butthead. I couldn't watch Ren and Stimpy. I couldn't watch Are You Afraid of the Dark, which actually is a good show. It is a little bit scary, but it has a good moral at the end. And I've watched, okay, for nostalgia's sake, since we're talking about nostalgia, I watched Are You Afraid of the Dark on my YouTube, and I found out it wasn't as scary. It's just kind of little spooks to get kids scared, and it had a good moral at the end. So there. Well, Ren and Stimpy, I don't think really had a good moral. A lot of undertones that are kind of adult. It's kind of like Family Guy. So yeah, there are a lot of shows that my parents would not let us watch that became like, why can't we watch it? So we did when behind their backs, or we listened to music that our parents would not approve of behind their backs. And I wish it wasn't that way. Wish we could have been more open and honest. Like when you ban something, the kid's gonna go, and I know when I have kids and they ban MTV, they're gonna watch it with their friends. That's what kids do. Kids bend their parents' rules and their teachers, whatever, because they're kids and they're curious creatures. Humans are creatures of curiosity, even if it gets us into trouble. And teenagers and kids are creatures of curiosity. They wonder why they can't listen to Eminem or watch Ren and Stimpy or watch MTV. I don't watch MTV right now because it's crap, but I can do it now. I can listen to whatever I want. I can do that. But back then, nostalgia. Just to have all these good memories of like cartoons and boy bands, grunge bands, Nirvana, and stuff like that, and playgrounds that don't exist anymore, candy that kids haven't heard of, just memories of the 90's and how the 80's clashed with the 90's, and having Bill Clinton as the president, and stuff like that. Just the 90's was a whole different world back then, because we weren't under recession like we are now, and it was just like this glamorous world. Maybe it could have been because I was about 7 years old, and 7-year-olds don't see any political problems. it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter to us. We're just 7 and we're playing with toys. But when you grow up, I guess recession or not, you're gonna realize the downfalls of adulthood, and that you can't always get what you want. And when you do get what you want, it's not as great as you think. I mean, I miss those old playgrounds that were a little bit dangerous, because safe ones are, I mean, sure, the kids have fun, but they're just not as fun as as having a little bit of danger in your life. I know parents want to protect their kids, keep them safe, but you can't put a rubber suit around them to protect them. Eventually, they're going to bite their tongue or get a bad cut and hurt themselves. That's being human. I broke my hand running up the stairs. Injury is part of human. It's not a fun part of growing up, and it's not a fun part of life. Even as an adult, I still say the F word when I step on something sharp. But injury is part of human. You can't protect your kids from from scratches and bruises. They're going to have it. I mean, unless your kid is a hemophiliac, which then you should protect your kid from all causes. Injury happens. It's called childhood. And I managed to go, I broke my first bone when I was in my adulthood. So I've done a lot of dangerous things. I have scars, but I did not break a bone. Maybe I was lucky. Maybe my guardian angel must have been strong, but I've had cuts and stuff like that. It was like fun childhood back in the 90's. So I guess this is kind of a 90's thing. Yeah. So yeah.